in its MSCs are also different. So like it depends upon the round of counting that we have to carry out. For example, for Fulani MSc we have less number of this thing PS, but at the same time for Lumbajong we have maximum number of PS, so the times will be different. But for 2 and 3 MSc, I think the result will be able to declare before 12, and yeah, and for Lumbajong, I think it will go till 4 p.m. 4:30 p.m.
Meanwhile, a day ahead of the declaration of results to the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, KACC and Tuliram Rongan today exuded confidence of yet another resounding victory for the BJP. Addressing reporters today, Tuliram Rongan said that as per his assessment, the BJP candidates will secure victory in all 26 council constituencies of the KAAC with a vote margin of no less than 5,000 votes in each constituency.
২৬টা সমষ্টিত বিপুল ভোটত জয়যুক্ত কৰি আহিব ভাৰতীয় জনতা পাৰ্টি প্ৰাৰ্থীত। গতিকে এটা সমষ্টিত যিটো এছেছমেণ্ট ৰিপৰ্ট তাৰ ৫,০০০ কম জিকা ভোটটো নাহে। এটা সমষ্টিত কোনোবা সমষ্টিত ২০,০০০লৈকে গৈছে, ১৫,০০০লৈকে গৈছে, ১৬,০০০লৈকে ভোটত ২৬টা সমষ্টিত ভাৰতীয় জনতা পাৰ্টি বিপুল ভোটত জয়যুক্ত হ'ব।
And on to another top focus at this hour, viewers. The Naga Students Federation, or NSF, in collaboration with the Naga Students Union Delhi, organized a people's rally in New Delhi today. The rally with the banner, "A Call for Peace," is a message on behalf of the present-day Naga generation who calls for peace and to echo the universal aspiration of mankind to say, "Give peace a chance." The NSF, in a press note, said that the rally is aimed at raising the genuine concern and aspirations of the Nagas who were and continue to be subjugated by colonial powers, such as the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. The NSF had also requested the government of India to honor its political commitment that since there is only one Indo-Naga political issue, there will also be only one solution too. And that the proposed political settlement should be based on inclusive, honorable solution which recognizes Naga people's identity, which should be brought to its logical conclusion at the earliest.
Government of India must honor peace. The danger is the peace process in the background. Even the negotiator may even walk away from the ceasefire. And we don't want that to happen. So we're telling both sides, under any circumstances, don't break the ceasefire. Continue the negotiation. But unless government of India also exhibit some kind of sincerity, it is difficult for the talk to go endlessly. We'll continue with our campaign. Please keep the negotiation alive, keep the peace process alive, but let us negotiate with mutual respect for each other.
And well, the march proceeded from Mandi House and concluded at the Jantar Mantar with solidarity messages from different Naga civil society organizations as well as well-wishers.
It is a prayer for harmonious coexistence and a peaceful co-inhabitance. It is a symbol of our inherent desire to pursue building peace both within and outside. Naga's call for peace is distinctive in nature, yet not different from the universality of peace.
Today I stand before you as an elder representing elder generation in shame in a way, because no matter how hard we try, we could not bring peace to our land. But I also stand before you proudly to say that Nagas, despite our human sufferings, which the world could not endure all this, we have not lost our dignity, nor have we surrendered our rights. And we will continue to stand our ground till the end of time.
That lays upon the
Shifting focus now, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma today said that Morioni MLA Rupjyoti Kurmi is not facing any probe regarding misuse of MLA funds. Chief Minister Sharma said that the MLA is not responsible for any misappropriation of funds since the concerned Deputy Commissioner releases and utilizes funds. Sharma, speaking in context of Rupjyoti Kurmi, said that no MLA has any access to the funds directly other than the DC who releases the funds. The Assam Chief Minister clarified that if any anomalies are found, action will have to be taken only against the Deputy Commissioner or any other entity which has the responsibility to utilize the funds.
ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীৰ ওপৰত এজন ব্যক্তিয়ে গোচৰ দিছিলে ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীৰ ওপৰত নহয় তেওঁৰ বিধায়ক পুঁজি ৰিলিজ কৰে ডিচিয়ে খৰচ কৰে ডিচিয়ে গতিকে ইনকুৱাৰী ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীৰ ওপৰত হোৱা নাই স্কিমটোৰ নামটোহে এমএলএ ফাণ্ড কিন্তু স্কিমটোত যদি খেলি মেলি হৈছে শাস্তি ডিচিয়ে পাব শাস্তি বিডিঅই পাব এমএলএ জনে নাপায় এমএলএ জনৰ কাম হৈছে নামটো ৰিকমেণ্ড কৰি দিয়া গতিকে এমএলএ ফাণ্ডটো এটা স্কিমৰ নামহে যেনেকে অসম মালা বুলি এটা স্কিমৰ নাম আছে তেনেকে ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীৰ বিধায়ক পুঁজি এটা স্কিমৰ নাম কিন্তু ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীয়ে এটকাও নিজৰ হাতত ল'ব নোৱাৰে সেইকাৰণে ইয়াত যদি কিবা খেলিমেলি আছে বা নাই তাৰ ওপৰত যিমানে বিচাৰ নহওক কিয় ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মী ইয়াত নাহে ইয়াত যোন ডিচিয়ে ফাণ্ড ৰিলিজ কৰি দিছিল যোন কমিটি আছিলে যোন ইমপ্লিমেণ্টেশ্যন আছিলে কাৰণ ইয়াত ৰূপজ্যোতি কুৰ্মীৰ কোনো স্থান নাই ইয়াতে এইটো স্কিমটোৰ নামে আজি পৃথিৱীৰাজ ৰাভাৰ বিধায়ক পুঁজিটো তেওঁ ৰিকমেণ্ড কৰি দিয়াৰ পিছত তেওঁৰ কাম চেঞ্জ হৈ গ'ল ইয়াত ইমপ্লিমেণ্ট কৰিব পিডব্লিউডিয়ে কোনোবা নামঘৰ সমিতিয়ে কোনোবা ক্লাবে যদি কিবা খেলিমেলি হয় ইনকুৱাৰীটো ক্লাবটোৰ ওপৰত হ'ব ডিচিজনৰ ওপৰত হ'ব যিজনে কামটো হোৱা বুলি সাৰ্টিফিকেট কৰি দি নেক্সট 50% এলোকেশন লৈ গৈছে তেওঁৰ ওপৰত হ'ব বিধায়কজনৰ ইয়াত কোনো কাম নাই তেওঁটো খালি ৰিকমেণ্ড কৰিব লাগে গতিকে সব জানি বুজিও ইমান চাঞ্চল্যকৰ সৃষ্টি কৰি থাকিলে কেনেকে হ'ব
All right, on to Manipur now. After arriving in state capital Imphal on a 3-day visit on Friday, Union Minister of State for Sports and Youth Affairs Nisit Pramanik today visited the Sports Authority of India Northeastern Regional Complex or SAI-NERC, located in Imphal West, Takhialpat area. Addressing the gathering, the Union Minister of State said that the sports infrastructure will be developed in all the districts of Manipur at par with national standards under Khelo India scheme. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, Minister Pramanik said that Manipur has brought laurels to the country in different sporting disciplines in the national as well as international level. It may be mentioned here that during his 3-day visit, the Union Minister is also slated to visit the Kuman Lampak Sports Complex in Imphal.
इम्फॉल एनसुई ऐसा एक नेशनल सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस है जहां से बहुत सारा जो खिलाड़ी है देश को मिला है और देश के लिए बहुत मेडल जीतने का काम भी यहाँ का खिलाड़ियों ने किया है चाहे वो मेरी कॉम जी हो चाहे मीराबाई चानू जी हो जो 2021 की जो ओलंपिक है उसमें पहले मेडल जीतने वाला भी इस एनसुई का खिलाड़ी ही थी तो सभी देखा मैंने इस यहाँ का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी देखा काफ़ी पुराना है लेकिन फिर भी वेल मेंटेन है उसको मेरा साथ जो यहाँ का सभी आधिकारिक है उनका भी बातचीत हुआ है सभी कोचेस की बात हुआ है काफ़ी अच्छा लगा मुझे कि देश को सबसे ज़्यादा जो है खिलाड़ी देने वाला ये एनसुई बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक है बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है
And on to the big national focus now. Maharashtra's ruling alliance suffered a massive setback today with the BJP winning a 3rd seat in the state in straight fight against the Shiv Sena. And with this, the state's numbers in the 6 Rajya Sabha seats in the state are split down the middle, with the BJP and the alliance winning 3 seats each, an outcome that is expected to influence the coming MLC and civic elections in the state. Overall, the BJP posted a win in 3 of the 4 states, where a close contest took place on 16 Rajya Sabha seats. The Congress, meanwhile, retained 3 seats in Rajasthan but suffered a setback in Haryana. Haryana turned out an upset for the Congress, with one of the 2 seats won by the BJP and the other by Kartikeya Sharma, the media baron and independent candidate that it backed. Ajay Makin, for whom the party initially claimed a victory, lost. In Rajasthan, the Congress won 3 of the 4 Rajya Sabha seats with cross-voting by BJP members. 1 seat has gone to the BJP. Congress candidates Mukul Wasnik and Randeep Surjewala got extra votes, and so did BJP candidate Ghanshyam Tiwari. Z chairman Subhash Chandra, backed by the BJP, lost, and 1 vote was rejected. Then moving to Karnataka, the BJP won 3 seats and the Congress won. H.D. Kumaraswamy, Janata Dal Secular, whose home base the state is, lost the seat that they had. BJP's Nirmala Sitaraman, Jagesh and Lihar Singh Siroya took 3 of the 4 seats, while Congress's Jairam Ramesh won the remaining seat.
Very humbly start with thanking all of them, and without hesitation thank the blessings that Sri Yediyurappa ji has always extended to me and extended even this time to me. I thank each and every MLA, and through them thank the people of Karnataka for having given me the second opportunity, again, second time.
And we now cut across live to the IC3 Regional Forum at the Vandya International School in Guwahati's Amingaon. Take a look.
Needs to bridge the gap to assimilate them as normal citizens of the society. Ma'am, can we have you on the stage?
Good evening and a very warm welcome to all our dear friends, principals of various esteemed schools of Guwahati, and all the educators today present in the IC3 conference. Today, I welcome Kritika Balaji. Yeah, although I'm still yet to be a Dr. Riniki Bhuya Sharma, I'm still Riniki Bhuya Sharma. And thank you for your beautiful presentation in transforming the lives in career counseling in the global platform. So this is a very important aspect of everybody's life, the transformation, because transforming is the only thing that is constant in life. Everything waits, but the process of transformation keeps on going. And it is the evolution that keeps on leading you to a specialization, to where you want to have, or a certain yardstick of life which you want to achieve. Today, as a chairperson of Vandya International, me, Riniki Bhuya Sharma, and together the visionary behind Vandya International, Dr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma, who is the present Chief Minister of Assam. So we belonged, he is a completely educationist, a politician, but I totally belong to a, what you can say, an entrepreneurial journey of life. And this is through a part of process, a part of discussions. So where we went through our various phases of entrepreneurial journey, where we went through our various process of political life. So we decided on transforming a society or giving back. I cannot say, I cannot vouch that I can transform the society through a small thing, but we can definitely give a try. And that is where Vandya International has been conceptualized under my late father-in-law, Kailash Nath Sharma, who was a philanthropist, who was a writer, and who was a visionary in his own term. And in this process, in this educational field, which I can say is not a very easy journey for us. Because what I feel, like Vandya, when we were conceptualizing Vandya, like how will it, then we had a lot of issues regarding the name. Like then we came to a conclusion that the goddess of education, Saraswati, let us be our guiding light. That is Vandya. And then again, when we had the process of discussion and discussing and how to go ahead, then our motto came in. So we had a very processed and we were thinking, and that is where Mona ma'am comes in. So today I will not address her as Dr. Khanna, Mona ma'am. So where I had the privilege of meeting her in June. So when my son was there in class 7, so she was the maths teacher there. And as a very parent, like what my son is doing, and at that point of time when he went from DPS, so he was very good in mathematics. Then suddenly, after a year, he instantly dropped from 99 to 60s. That is the time when I had that whether my son was dull or whether something went wrong in the school or what happened. Then I used to pull him around and I was moving around doing my rounds. At that point of time when I like met Mona ma'am, no, chinta mat kijiye, he's a very bright kid. Then I realized he's a very bright kid, then where the marks are showing. The showing his brightness is not yet mentioned anywhere there. Then again we used to go to our English teacher and like he used to stand behind. No, no, don't worry, your son is very intelligent. The worst part, the nightmare I had in life in June when I met the Hindi teacher. So when I went in, the moment I met the Hindi teacher, he started laughing at seeing Nandil. Nandil started laughing and all his friends were laughing. I said, what kind of PTM is this? When everybody was laughing at each other and I was like a fool, like looking at the face of my son. And the more I look, the more they start laughing at each other. I never saw counseling, that kind of counseling in my life. Then I said that Nandil, like, what is this? No, don't worry, mommy. So we are cool, we are chill. He's like that, he's enjoying. I said, okay, fine, let the one sentence come. But laughing and that too, like, it's an outburst. And suddenly when we were all group, and then the friends also joined in and everybody started laughing. Then I thought that's a no scope here thing. So again, I went back. But in the process, like when today I was hearing my son speaking about the self-exploration, about the mathematics in life, like how he had to convince. Because we at Vandya, when we conceptualized what the education system should be and how, then we were thinking about like where to get the principal who would be the best suited to our ideology which we were thinking. We don't want to give or impart education. We want to impart knowledge. But impart knowledge is not something where it's defined. Knowledge is something, it is a never ending process. And in this process, while going through, there are a lot of ways and means where we all agree to disagree. And I think this is the journey that Vandya has been starting. And then we were in search of principal when Mona ma'am came. And so we were like, she used to give us frenetic calls and she must be wondering what's wrong with the chairperson who doesn't pick up her calls. Why we didn't pick up the calls, Mona ma'am, today I'm answering your call. Answer. Because we want your intellectual ability to groom up and we want what you see as a vision in the school. Today, from my point of view, if I start imparting, no ma'am, you have to go this, then together we will be a failure imparting what we want to do. Logistically, we are all here to support. But when it comes to the field of education, Let the educators' vision. We follow the vision of the educators. They have been handling student all their life. And today, if I come and say, no, this is the way I want, this is the chart that a student has to behave like this, the student has to behave like this will be a total failure of what we have conceptualized as a Vandya. And I hope that ma'am will understand my not answering my calls while you are taking, even in this IC conference, like she broken her leg. And she was giving me calls, ma'am, ye ho gaya. And I was like, okay, ma'am, okay. But I want that she takes her call herself. And the guidance and the experience and the legacy which she has carried with herself. And I want that a vision should be carried forwarded because we lack this kind of vision in this part of the state. If I call it from a language of my media, we call it as a B2 state, where all the secondary things comes. Why? Because while we were having this IC conference, like when she was saying, ma'am, the people here were not responding. It is not about the responding. Just now I told to her that it is so full of themselves. When you're full of themselves, education is something which I have already told. It is not something like you can give a full stop. You keep on learning every day as it passes off. And when you start thinking that, okay, fine, we are having our conference in so and so dates, so we are full, we don't require your help. This is not about yourself. This is doing injustice to the thousands of young minds who are going to spark, who are on the way of journey, who is going to be the future of tomorrow, who's going to be the who's and who's of the country. So this is how we have to think our mind in an open set. This is not about a business rivalry. That this is I'm giving my best of facilities to the school, so I'm not going to the other school. It is not about that. This is a larger responsibility because today as a parent, when I go to a school, definitely, I will ask, I will see the facilities. I will see what the school has to give. I will see what the basic infrastructure has to give. But the school is not all about having ACs, not about having buildings. It is what about you educate your child to stand in the world. I was always used to speak to ma'am that ma'am, when I want to see a child from Vandya, I want that he should have its roots very firmly grounded and he should be proud to tell that I am from Assam and nobody should feel ashamed that they are from Assam, a part of the country which is very much till now, to be on the very sad note after recently with all the new developments happening, it is on the geographical map, but still we are yet to go far behind in the national arena. Leave aside the international arena. So today in this process of IC3 conference, regional conference, because last time it was held in a school where the participants were only 11 in number. This shows that a kind of ignorance, the kind of full of life confidence, which the part of the society is having, which is the very wrong side of the life, that is the educators and the teachers, who should be humble, who should be open to the ideas, and who should be more humble in taking new ideas and imparting themselves in the school, which is going to ignite the life of so many students. Here we were talking, I heard Anubha ma'am when she was saying, let us have an organic growth. How the organic growth comes into being? The organic growth is all a part of the holistic approaches that we will take. That is an organic growth. Why will they come? As a parent, my son, like he was sitting, I had, because a kind of life we had with my son and daughter, the kind of experiences that I have in my life, and being a mother who was completely hand holding my kids with no option because we fall in the political part of our life. When Anuba ma'am was the first principal ma'am which I took my son to, and I really admire her because the way she has handled, the way which she really took care of my son, and where somebody was mentioning that she knows each and every name of the student. That makes you feel wanted. That okay, fine. As a parents, when I saw the principal saying, okay, fine, bring the child, that means you're as a mother, he is just one of the students in the school. He is not a part of the school. So when they call him by the name, okay, fine. As a mother, I would say, no, the principal likes him. That is enough for me. Taking the name, calling him by the side, praising him, what is good points, what is bad points. So that is how a life journey goes. When my son was in seven, like when he first entered into the Dune, where the career counseling, which I'm talking, how it has impacted us in our lives. When he was in seven, earlier in during his childhood days, he was always with a computer. If somebody asks what you're going to become in life, mommy, becoming the CEO of Apple. Then everybody used to joke, if the apple becomes a mango, what will you do? No, I will become the CEO, and even if it becomes a mango, I will join there only. But his life was like focused to be the CEO of Apple. When he joined into Dune, at that point of time, we had very restricted limitations, and at that point of time, we were like journeying with my son, and we were all on the learning process. What happened then on class 8? He came back with a different career. I said, what was that? No, mommy, this. Again in class 9, he came again with a different career. I said, what is this time? Then I was thinking, what is the problem with the school? And today, when I was hearing him, that is where the self exploration process in career counseling comes. Because every year, a child changing the profession is so torturous for the parents. Like, he also doesn't know what he wants in life. Like, then he said that it is not about the data, it is not about what the career counselor explains, it is about the process and handling of the student. Then, since he's my the eldest son and the biggest of the family, he was good in maths, always a hunt. That's where Anubha ma'am's question comes in. So, like, he was so good in maths, and suddenly he wants to avoid maths. How they're good in maths? Because we know that as a son, he is going to be in science and he's going to be an engineer, doctor, or something like that. We used to force him that maths tuition pakad ke holo 100 milna hi hai. That is how the some amount of getting marks in subjects which you don't like also happens with the force of the teachers. That is where our counseling, where our self exploration, where our talking with the students, that has to really come into being. Then during his boards, although he was by the time he himself established as a lawyer, but still I had a hope against my hope that someday he will change his career. So I was giving very much important in his physics, but ultimately the thing came and he was good in his own academics in the art subject. And ultimately his decisions, his choices, then he was saying that, mommy, I want to join the Bangalore Law University. At that point of time, we didn't know nobody. But we only knew one concept, is that if you get 70, if you are among the 70 students in India, you will get it. So we didn't know where to get, whom to start, how to get his career done, what needs to be done. Then with by asking lot of things, we got finally, and today like he also contributed. But now that was a journey which was on the day or just past a few years back. But now with the conferences like IC3, people meeting, with educational fairs coming, with a method of self exploration, with the principal being in hand on principle, like the career counselors sitting in the middle of parents teachers meet. It is all about not guiding them with datas and not guiding them with sciences. It is all about learning the child's aptitude in his way of handling. Like today, Mr. Noni Gopal Mohanta was supposed to be here, but due to the CM's visit, he is. One day, while I was talking to his son, like, Beta, what do you want to become? Then suddenly a topic came, Auntie, I want to become a herpetologist. It was a shock for me. I didn't know what herpetologist was at that point of time in another 7, 8 years back. Then I just stayed like cool. Then I was just looking at his father. What is a herpetologist means, by the way? Then he convinced. But now, when we see, I just had the few minutes to hear the sessions given by Mrs. Forgot her name. I was just hearing that how to emphasize, but how to integrate a subject holistically in the process of education to make it. It is not like all of them are compartmentalized. Now we have come into the liberal form of education, liberal form of arts, where we can integrate and where we can assimilate to have a career of our own. So now I think with this kind of conferences, with this kind, but everything should have a base, everything should have a foundation, everything should have its own methodology, the relationships, the decision making, the way to go how ahead, the journey, the aptitude, and most of all, the teachers, the counselors, all into one, assimilated, will determine the growth of a young mind who wants to establish themselves into the new world of competition. Nowadays, everybody has 100. 100 is something it's become. But what is the other things you excel? I force my son that you have to study. I force my daughter that has to study. But every student has got their own way of handling things, own way of understanding things. That is where as a parents, as a counselor, that is where we have to come into existence, I say. And together, because later on, this is the journey that is going to later on affect your life in the occupational life. For example, today we are forced to become an engineer. Tomorrow you're joining an engineering firm, but you're working, but your interest is in something other else. So will your working life will be a pleasure for you? That will lead into a depression. That will lead you a voluntary retirement. That will lead you in lot many things. So today, as times are changing, as we are progressing. So it is like it's a cumulative effort that has to be taken by all. It is one step ahead that everybody has to come in. That is for the larger interest of what? That is the larger interest of a son, that is a larger interest of a daughter, that is a larger interest of a future, a society where we are going to portray, and that is going to carry your state, your nation forward into the global arena, and what we decide and what we have in our mind, that where to carry forward from here. From here we start and where we stop ourselves. So that is how Vandya Internationals we are planning. And I was telling ma'am, like, let us do something which is beyond the system of education, which is beyond the way that which leads to the path of self-exploration, which is beyond that we develop a beautiful, nowadays we have IQ, EQ, SQ, and lot of quotients in our life. So let us, why not combine everything into a holistic and take out a student from Vandya. Tomorrow when they open the mouth, they will know that they have actually come from a place where knowledge was the best, where knowledge was the base, and it is the journey which has been fruitful. And it is the base in school that actually makes or breaks a human being. I'm telling you, like, if you don't have this confidence, and if you don't have, like, okay, fine, this is my base, next day you stand and you mug up no matter how many things in life, but ultimately when you're twisted and ask, you break down. So we want to, as a Vandya Internationals, we want to make a very strong foundation, a very beautiful base, and here we will try to get the best out of all the worlds, so that Every soul that ignites here will make a mark in his or her respective fields, whatever they want, and let Vandya be the name of education, of knowledge, of self-discovery and self-exploration. Thank you, and thank you so much for giving me the honor, and thank you once again.
तो यहाँ हम आपको दिखा रहे थे सीधा प्रसारण गुवाहाटी के निकटवर्ती अमीनगांव स्थित वंद्या इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आज विशेष काउंसलिंग जागरूकता सभा का आयोजन किया गया है। विद्यार्थियों को करियर संबंधी जानकारी देने के इरादे से इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया गया है। इधर कार्बी आंगलोंग स्वायत्त शासी परिषद के 26 सीटों पर हुए चुनाव के नतीजों की घोषणा कल होने जा रही है। कल सुबह 8 बजे से शुरू होने जा रही वोटों की गिनती की प्रक्रिया के लिए 3 स्तरीय सुरक्षा की व्यवस्था की गई है। मतगणना की तैयारियों को लेकर कार्बी आंगलोंग के जिला उपायुक्त और रिटर्निंग अधिकारी दिवाकर नाथ ने जानकारी साझा की है।
The Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council election has been finished on 8 June, and tomorrow counting will be started.
So tomorrow at 8 a.m. the counting will start for the 10 MSCs in Difu Government High School, both girls high school as well as boys high school. So already the preparation has been done. So yesterday we had one meeting with all the candidates as well as the election agents. And beside that, as a precautionary measure, around